Salute and welcome everybody to the Fighter Driver channel. I'm Gabriel Oliveira, the fighter driver and enthusiast of motorsport and combat aviation, and I'll try to bring you videos about racing simulators as Gran Turismo 7 for starters, but later on as soon as possible, Assetto Corsa Competizione, iRacing, range sport, and etc. I'll also try to bring you videos about combat aviation simulators and games as well, such as BMS, DCS, War Thunder, and etc. according to my rig's capacities. The goal will be sharing my experiences and how they can be helpful to you as you go through similar situations. In this first video of the channel, my mission is starting a new account in Gran Turismo 7, and it's because I already have some experience with this game and sim franchise. And the goal of this account will be solely racing competitively, so we'll learn what's needed to access the sport mode and start racing online. So if you're about to start playing Gran Turismo 7 focused in the competitive sport mode, this video may be useful to you. I hope you like and enjoy it, so weapons clear! So, account created, first access to the game and some video settings. Once it's done, we'll have to go through the music rally. It could be something optional, but there is no way to skip it. You have to go through at least the first challenge. Right before it starts, you have to set your controls up. As I don't have a wheel yet, they're super expensive in Brazil, I'll set my joypad and here you'll realize I am a dinosaur. I first played Gran Turismo in 1997 with the first version and just can't adapt to some of the new resources that new joypads bring, as using L2 and R2 for throttle and brakes, so go for old school settings. I'll also choose the professional assist settings as I'm familiar with this game for quite a long time. Well, it doesn't mean I'm good at it, I must say. I'll change some other settings and use manual transmission and shut down most of the assists is still on at this time. We have all set up for now, so we're ready to start. First challenge, classic car and classic music. Our goal here is keep driving as the music plays, so you can see the soundtrack on the top, the distance you must run for gold, silver and bronze prizes, and the countdown. You must go as fast as you can to reach the checkpoints. When you reach the checkpoints, as you can see, the countdown gets some extra time, which allows you to keep driving. So the faster you go, the more the extra time you have to keep racing and the longer the distance you run. And that's the target you must aim at here, running the longest distance possible and get the gold prize. I'm fast forwarding it here so we get to the end of it and see what happens. Let's not waste much time here. Be aware and take careful with the cars ahead, as they will be much slower than you and will make things more difficult to you sometimes by blocking your way, making mistakes right in front of you as you try to overtake them, this sort of thing. The number of laps here are irrelevant, and the challenge is over only when the countdown reaches 0, which will possibly make you fail the challenge, or the song is over. By default, in the campaign mode, the replay will always play automatically after you finish the challenge, so you can watch it and record it right away. We're watching a bit of it now. After finishing it, we'll have access to the Gran Turismo 7 game, in fact, so let's access it. So, actual Gran Turismo 7 accessed, we'll have to set our nickname. It can be changed later in the game options if you want it. We can also choose the difficulty level here, and I'll go for the most difficult one, not because I'm a very good driver, I'm not, but because I want some challenge so I can improve my skills. Then we'll have to go through an almost 8 minutes introduction film, and I couldn't stop or jump it. I wonder why Polyphony Digital. So let's fast forward it. I mean, it's a very nice film, but we should have the option to skip it or watch it later. Anyways, after that we get our first 3 cars, which I'll probably never use. I'll talk more about that in a later video. And then we access the 3D map for the first time. Sarah is our guide and will tell us what we have to do next. It will depend if you already know Gran Turismo World or not. As I'm familiar with the franchise and even with Gran Turismo 7 itself, I'll answer yes to her question. Then the first thing is buying a car so we can start racing. So we'll get to the used cars shop. Here we'll learn that we must pay attention to the performance points or PP. The more PP, the better. For it, I'll choose the Toyota Aqua S 2011, and it's the car with the best PP I can afford right now, as I have only 20,000 monies. Then, after getting the car, my collector points will increase. The more cars you collect, the more your collector level will increase. But it's irrelevant to me as my focus is on the competitive mode. Collecting cars don't interest me for this series. Coming back to the map, we have now access to the garage. In there we keep our cars, can change them, adjust the setups, watch them in escapes films, get our gifts and lottery tickets, manage the tuning parts, and manage the collection if it's relevant to you. I'll manage my joypad control settings now, and here you can see what a dinosaur I am. I know these settings aren't the best in terms of performance, but I can adapt to the best ones and end up being slower when trying to drive using them. So the settings you see on screen are the best combination I could get. I hope I can get a wheel soon. Now we'll have access to the Gran Turismo Café, and here we'll get the challenges we must go through so we can unlock the modules and resources. Luca will be our mission officer here. He will assign the challenges we must accomplish till we get to the sport mode. The challenges will come as menus, and the first one has the goal of getting 3 Japanese compact cars. The mission is only accomplished when the 3 cars are gotten, and for that we must perform well in some races of the world circuit. I already have one of those cars, the one I bought, so I must get the other 2. So now the world circuits and showcase modules are active, and we'll get to the world circuits and race the challenges. For that, we'll use the compass marks to find what we gotta do. We see there are no tracks available except by the one we'll race at now, Sunday Cup. Here are the setups we must comply with to commit with the race, and that's what you'll see as you go through it. Pretty simple to follow the instructions and get started. Race start will be in the end of the grid and must finish at least 3rd so we accomplish the mission. The adversaries will be slower, will make mistakes in front of you, will block your way as you try to overtake them, and will not keep their lines as you're overtaking them. So they are bad, dirty drivers, and you must be careful and try to foresee situations so you can avoid contact. As our goal is not show the races here, I will speed up for now on so we see what happens in the end. Now you have the results, the prizes, your collector's level evolution, and right after the replay. you have a series of controls, so you can turn data on, off, change cameras, cars in focus, rewind, forward, etc. The difference here is you can save the replay to watch later by accessing the showcase. Now we'll get to the next challenge we must accomplish, and as my goal here is not to show race by race but only the key points you must pay attention to, I'll focus on showing you the sequence we'll get through from now on, except when there is something different from the trivial, so my decisions can be somehow helpful to you by not making the same mistakes or doing the same as I did. Finishing this challenge, we'll get back to the cafe and new modules, resources, prices or tracks will get unlocked. I recommend you get your gifts right away as they expire after some time, especially the tickets. Now, here's another annoying thing, but we have to deal with it. We will only unlock the next menu after watching this story video. Luca will tell you something about those cars you achieved, and only after that the next menu will be available. Now, for the next menu, we'll need to get the B license, as the next events will require you to have this license. So let's get to the license center and see what we gotta do. One of the world tour drivers, in this case Daniel Solis, will guide us with instructions and demonstrations. Just pay attention to and follow them, you'll be fine. The first one, as we can see, is about braking and learning how to read the distances and references for braking right. In this case, a good reference are the orange cones close to the finishing line on your right side. Try to get the gold prize always, as it will help you improve your skills when it comes to basic maneuvers and will get you the higher prizes. You can also see the replays after you accomplish your mission. Then move to the next test until you finish them all and get your license. If you get them all gold, you will get 2 cars as prizes as well. You can see them getting to my garage here. So now you can take the other licenses tests, which will be useful for you if you want to continue through the campaign mode, but will not be necessary to access and race in competitive online sport mode. They won't be useful even as a skill improvement resource, as you can do it by just racing online. So I will only get to them if and when necessary through my journey. Getting back to the cafe, we get new resources unlocked, and the new menu in which we'll get classic European compact cars. You can use the same car you used before, no problems. We're racing Brands Hatch, Goodwood, and Lake Maggiore. Nothing special here. After accomplishing this mission, the tuning shop will be unlocked. It won't be relevant for us now, but will be later on, as we'll see on the second episode of this mission, getting to the competitive online sport mode. I hope you liked this video, and if you did so, you can show your appreciation by clicking on the like button, leaving a comment telling me your opinion, your suggestions for further videos, and also share this content with your friends. And if you want to watch the episode 2 of this series and get to the sport mode with me the most objective way possible, spending the least game money possible, click on the subscribe button and activate the notifications bell so you'll receive the notifications when the next videos come in the channel. I appreciate you who followed me so far, salute, and I see you on the next mission.